Alright, boy. Booster packs get more expensive. Hey, top of the morning. Hey, what's going on? Wow. Wowa. Oh, what a shot. Let's go on a face card. No face cards. No face card. Hey, how's it going, everybody? All right, let's see. Choose one of up to 3 tarot cards. We just got our dividend. What a interesting thing. Things get more expensive too, so hold on. Take it. We've been spamming 2-pair for some reason. For every 7.
Mercat.
My lady. How are you around the morning streams and the night shift? Are you a human? How do you do it? Are you EU? Wait, why didn't I get... Well, regardless. Top of the morning. When will the AI start saying Mr. Cat? Not a mercat. What is going on? Mercat. For each discarded 7. I want to just discard 2 cards. Shoot. Okay, Worth. Oh, they're done. Ate them. And the hard-boiled eggs. Now it's maple syrup drizzled on all 3. Flipped it around. More maple syrup on top. Kind of sizzling in the tank right now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I advise you to that's true advisement. We need a lucky card. What's up? Oh no. Oh no. 10-4. For each. Discard a 2. Oh, let me sit up before I fall asleep again. We gotta be going out and about later today. Oh, re-trigger all played face cards. And you can raise our interest. Seed money. Re-trigger all face cards. Flush. Maybe a high card. Some longevity with sock and bussin'. One in 7 cards drawn face down. There's a 4. For every queen. No cigar. No 4s. For every queen. Oh, shoot. Raise the interest cap 10. Yes. Not really. Fuck. for every 4 discarded. Wowa. Interest cap. We'll buy this on the next shop. For every 9 discarded. Gross. It's the abstract Joker. Up and at it. $3 for every 9. Nice. Damn it. Level up the pair. $10 for or faces. Seems to be the play here. For every discarded 2. Coasting right now, just coasting. Gain 0 move each time a lucky card successfully triggers. Damn it, man, damn it. Every 4. It's pretty much a win. I want to go for more. Mimi. Try to play a high card here so as to see if we can get another 4-2 discard. There's 4. A little cherry on top of the situation. Yeah, these are getting expensive. Chips. It's too late. Start beefing up the castle. Let's find out today. Oh. Okay. All right. 7. Just a 2 pair. It's not good. Very cruel. Very cruel. Two times the malt. No good. Check up on my farm. Fermented ingredients created. Hooray! Fatigue alleviation. So the cooking is actually kind of
Yay.
let's see. Hold on. It's tripping me out. Hold on. Now, a game ain't a good game if it don't got a good food system. And we are learning that this indeed is kind of going crazy with it. Fatigue alleviation for it to be 10%, kind of nuts. Hello? Is that in game? 9, 10, 11. Shit, we only got like 30 minutes now, boys. Destruction art. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. Destruction art. I enjoy more than anything. We're gonna get a pet here. Do I have any more hedgehogs? Yes. Alright, this is Mr. Hedgehog. Say hi, we'll name him Franco. Franco the Hedgehog here. He gives us back nuts. Don't ask about the front nut. And what they do is give us nuts that contribute towards destruction art, which is if I'm whacking at a beaver tail, a giant monstrous beaver tail, it's going to be dissected a lot quicker and fall off, which is, in this game, these kinds of games, well, the more beaver tails you knock off and stuff like that, it might contribute to a new piece of armor or weapon, blah, blah, blah.
So, how are you doing?
And I need more of it. We just unlocked the newest difficulty, which unlocks the newest different armors. So hedgehogs in every single cage. When I come back, they better be filled.
A lot of materials are coming in. You want to know what's still to do? All right. Bye for now.
Let's go back to the farm. It's kind of cool. Yo, kind of cool. It's a flush play. It's a flush play. Brother. Let me get some nuts. Demon rock. Might need some more demon rock. The hell? Hey. Doing the rounds here. Whoa! We can go to this map. I feel like we're skipping a map. What is this? Why can we go into the clouds all of a sudden? What? Mighty Dreadclaw? Whoa. Who? Hey, man. Thanks. I'm kind of like game hopping over here. I thought I'd be pissing you off, but... well... thanks, man. Oh, man. Hey. A fitness. Quick question. Do you fitness and stuff? I love fitness. Dude, we should get it. We should talk to each other and maybe find out what you like, what you don't like. I love Fitness. Does anyone else want to add me on Discord? What about VRAT? Is VRAT not here? Why is no one here? What?
Do you want to grow on Twitch in 2023? This video will help you. Hopefully, that's the goal. About 2 years ago, I made a video on this channel that is by far my best performing video by miles, explaining all the things that you can do to grow your Twitch channels and start to gain some more followers and some more viewers. However, a lot has changed since 2021 in the live streamer space, so that video needs an update, and that's what this video is going to be. In this video, I'm going to be going over all the tips and tricks that I've used and still use to gain a following on Twitch that will absolutely help you if this year is the year that you decide to take on the streaming journey and have some fun
I'm
over
curious
on
to
Twitch,
see what it
or,
says.
I suppose any live
Most
streaming
replayed right
platform
here.
as
We
well.
gotta check it out.
Content all based around one game and then streaming that same game. However, same applies. Get creative with it. Try find your thing. Try find your niche. What can you do in that game that no one else can? The bonus point for this as well is TikTok Live. This is becoming the meta very, very quickly. To get this, you need to be doing live streams on TikTok just from your phone. But if you set your phone up and you're just chatting nonsense to your TikTok followers or to no one for like 25 minutes and do that twice in a month or something like that, you will most likely be invited to download the TikTok Live Studio, and they'll give you a stream key, meaning that you can actually stream your gameplay from your desktop or wherever, or your console
Gotta talk to nobody for like 2 times. TikTok live streams. Okay, so Dogma, Dragon's Dogma 2 is going to be a thing pretty soon. I've never played Dragon's Dogma. Dougal, along with many people, have asked me to come.
Behold, a world touched by magic, a symphony of myth and reality, an everlasting saga of hearts set ablaze. Lend me a moment, and I'll tell you a
7
story
minutes.
of a fantastical realm.
Bro, I don't have 7 minutes right now. We'll watch this later. I got 30 minutes, tops. Then I gotta go take my grandma to the dentist. And I'm not looking forward to it. All right, Grandma, come to the dentist. Hey, come to the dentist. Hey, don't forget when you go to the dentist to go to the dentist and come back next week, next month, next month, next week plus month. The fuck? These motherfuckers are stealing from her, and I don't have the knowledge to prove it. Twinsies. Why do I gotta come back next month? If I gotta come back next month, can you tell me why? Why can't you just do it today? Yo, V-Rat. Yo, V. Ooh, 4 6s. Is that a lot of money? What else is on Steam? It's a spring sale, god damn it. So Steam spring sale. Oh, Steam spring sale. Whoa. You know what game's really fucking good? Shadow of War. Lord of the Rings. And I always go back to it, but I never beat it because I end up just doing gangland wars and starting beef with orcs. That when they kill you, there's just like a separate game within a game where it's just a storyline created between you two. Because one thing that I've constantly talked about with that game is the Nemesis mode. But unfortunately, I want to see used with other games, but WB, the creators of that game, patented. But what Nemesis mode is, when a monster does inevitably kill you, or you kill it, shame it, execute it, like all these things are possibilities, right? They remember. And if they kill you, they level up. At first, maybe it's not even a named orc. It's a no name. It's a random. But then, because it killed you, it'll jump to like a cutscene. He'll talk shit about you. And this random orc no name will be like, Gork, the Headless. Because of the way he killed you. So he's out there now, leveled up because he killed you, and climbing the ranks because he killed you. And perhaps maybe he kills one of your allies, or maybe one of the other orcs that you've manipulated and mind controlled kills him. And lots of things could happen. He could come back to life. He could end up backstabbing his friends to join you. And Nemesis mode. Game within a game. One of the things that could be applied to, well, any game. But they just patented it. You hate to see it. Business suits getting in the way. I mean, you think choices matter. Stories, right? I love choices matter. Now, think about that kind of choices matter, where it's like not a B, C, or D option, but literally the way you play option. The way you play, the way you want to kill him, the way he wants to kill you. Who you're affecting that he's going to run into when it comes to his friends, his family. And it's an old game, but it's just still so good with that mechanic. Now, like in this game, think of the monsters with Nemesis mode applied. Dark Souls, Lies of P. What happens if you freaking keep losing to that boss? Well, I'll tell you what, people are probably going to think twice before going to the boss over and over, because every time you die, the boss levels up and gets to use XP. It's not just the player getting to use XP and use points. You might be given that orc you die to, a mount to ride on next time you fight it, a little squad, because, you know, he's now a war chief. This is my spice drawer. I got spice. Where that? So I watched the video.
You know the best.
Intro.
If there's one gameplay innovation that I think
This song is, I think, my top three. I'll say top three favorite game songs.
deserves another look, it's the Nemesis system, which first appeared.
So we're playing Wild Hearts, right? Great game, kind of ruined by business suits. This game as well. Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor. Or no, this is 2014. No way. Shadow of War must be the later one. It's 2014. God damn. Another great game. Ruined by business suits with the introduction of microtransaction.
In the 2014 game Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. At its most basic, it's a villain generator, capable of populating Mordor with a handful of procedurally generated bad guys. Each one has its own name, look, gameplay traits, and personality, which is revealed in taunting one-liners before combat.
I wonder which of us will kill you first.
But at its best, and especially so in the sequel Shadow of War,
Yes.
it's a full-on story generator, which is
Story.
able to spin unique and highly personal narratives from your relationships with these orcs. It's a pretty incredible feat of design and
Look at
engineering.
that. Look at the
We've
choices
seen
matter right
story
here.
generation stuff in games like RimWorld
Webs,
and Crusader
lines.
Kings, but in a real-time
Per
action game
area.
with blockbuster graphics, it's unheard of. It's also something I've talked about a number of times on this channel, but I've never really dug into the specifics of how it works. To be honest, I've always been intimidated by the sheer complexity of the thing.
Wait, I don't know how patents work. If someone patented the Nemesis system, does a game company have to pay them to use it, or they're just not allowed to use it?
That is, until now. It's about time I finally gave it a go. So, hi, I'm Mark Brown, this is Game Maker's Toolkit, and here's how the Nemesis system creates stories. A quick note before I start. To save time and make things easier, I'm mostly going to talk about these two games as a single entity, which I'll just call Mordor. It's worth noting that Shadow of War makes massive changes and improvements to the system, but the broad strokes do apply to both games. If I had to choose an analogy for the way Mordor tells stories, I'd go with improvisational theatre, where unscripted stories spontaneously evolve as the performance goes on, and especially the rule yes and, which is about always accepting your partner's prompt and building on it. And that's exactly how it works in Mordor. The player does something, the game recognizes it, and builds on it. So you might
So
run away
good.
from a battle with
So
an orc
good.
captain to save your skin and get called a coward in a future encounter.
Not letting you run this time. Oh, he's gonna finish it.
See,
Or you might put
So
a
good.
spy into the enemy's ranks, only for the next orc you meet to say,
We know you planted a spy. Don't know who he is yet, but we'll just torture maggots until we find him.
the way this works is that the game is always secretly cataloguing your interactions with the game, and the orcs can then reference this list in order to choose the most interesting line of dialogue at the start of your next encounter. And that's really clever, because it means the way you communicate to the game, the way you make your improvisational suggestions, is through the most basic actions of play. Things like kill, flee, injure, heal, or gather intel. The things you're doing anyway in order to play the game get used by the Nemesis system as a jumping off point for the narrative. But this can also go the other way, with the orcs giving prompts, and hopefully the player will take the bait and build on the story themselves. Take this Olog called Arkaro, who beat me to a pulp, bent down, picked up my sword, and broke it.
You think this hurts me? No!
I guess I'll be tracking him down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the basics. But this left developer Monolith Productions with a problem. In a game that's all about death and violence, how do you make these stories last longer than a single encounter? You can't have improv if your partner is dead, after all. The solution was to find ways for an encounter to end that don't involve death. So, for one, the player is always able to run away from a battle, and is often encouraged to do so because it's difficult to recover health in the middle of combat. Some orcs also retreat when their life is in danger. Also, right at the moment of death, it's possible for the encounter to go a very different way.
I can't go down like this. I won't go down like this.
A downed orc might defy death and have a tricky escape. Or if the player is about to die, the orc might decide to just humiliate them and walk away. Take Marku, a wiry little archer who keeps downing me with his poisonous arrows, but always stops short of finishing the job.
Get up, man filth. I wanna...
Listen to the voices too, the chants for every single orc, every single name. Just Marku.
A victory, not a mercy killing. It'll be too easy to kill you like this. Come on, show me some pride of Gondor or whatever you men are always going on about.
But even if Talion does actually die, that's not the end. In almost every game, the player's death is a non-canonical error that gets erased when you rewind to a previous save point. It's rare to find games where the player's demise is actually weaved into the narrative in an interesting way. But in Mordor, protagonist Talion is a grave walker, a man stuck between life and death, which gives him the power to endlessly come back to life, like someone respawning in a multiplayer match. And this allows for a key narrative trope: revenge.
I know why you want to kill me. Revenge! Revenge for sword!
Oh, look at the armor he's rocking now. They gave him a raise.
Ooh. Well, he won't be a problem anymore. Monolith says it was inspired by the Burnout games, where you can get wrecked by rival racers and then you're dropped straight back onto the track so you can hunt down that car and enact some sweet justice. It's only because crashing is not considered a failure in Burnout that this sort of story can happen. The studio was also inspired by the kill cam in Call of Duty games, where you get to see the person who just killed you and then can respawn into the map and hunt them down. In fact, a lot of Mordor's design was about trying to replicate multiplayer relatedness with computer-controlled characters. And it's not just
Little PvP.
Talion who can respawn. Every enemy you slay has a small chance to cheat death and reappear later in the game, perhaps with injuries, scars, and prosthetics, which is another chance for the game to reflect the player's actions back on them. Like, for example, maybe I was being a bit hasty when I said Arkaro the Swordbreaker wouldn't be a problem, because
Swordbreaker?
half an hour later, look who showed up
look.
in the middle of a fight.
I should thank you. Whatever magics you used when you took my head will not allow me to die. Getting killed by you was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Gulp. Put all of this together, plus some other possible outcomes that I'll speak about later, and we can see that there's many ways for the relationship between Talion and an orc to go forward, from humiliation to fleeing.
That's just
to
from
cheating
orc to
death.
orc.
And so,
And they
whatever
could
way
all
the encounter
interact with
ends,
each other,
every
too.
time you meet this orc again, the process repeats, but now with a memory of your previous run-ins to reference and build the story further. Something else happens when an enemy kills you. They level up, they gain new strengths and shed old weaknesses, they get emboldened, and they often challenge a bigger orc for their position. You see, it would get boring if you just kept meeting the same orcs again and again without any change or growth in the relationship. So the Nemesis system needs some kind of framework for these stories to grow on. And in Mordor, Monolith used one that's familiar and easily understandable to anyone who's worked in a job or been in a prison gang: the hierarchy.
So instead of progressing
Shadow
the
of
story,
War,
I just
every
quickly turned
orc
it into
exists in
gangland.
a top-down organization of Overlord, a bunch of war chiefs, the captains, and the soldiers, who are just typical disposable NPC enemies. Though if they kill you, they have every chance of getting promoted to captain themselves. Killing Talion can make the enemy rise up through the ranks, but if you shame a war chief, they'll get demoted back down to captain. And it's not all about Talion. Orcs are given randomly generated missions that automatically resolve after a certain amount of time and can lead to promotion, demotion, and death, causing the balance of power to organically shift as you play. So if Talion's immortal nature lends itself to stories of vengeance, the hierarchical framework leads to different story tropes, such as fall from grace and rags to riches. Like in my game, how Marku, the humiliating orc captain, decided to finally finish the job and use his newfound status to overthrow the Overlord for top position. Which is quite the move up. That's like me getting 1 million subscribers and then submitting my resume to become the CEO of YouTube. But it also means that Marku is now absolutely untouchable unless I lead a full-on assault of his heavily guarded fortress. The orcs can also have other relationships, like a captain being a bodyguard to a war chief, or one orc being a devoted blood brother to another.
I won't see my blood brother slain by such a useless little tark.
And later in the game, you get a chance to make your own relationships by recruiting orcs onto your side of the war. So after Marku became Overlord, I had an idea. No matter how many times I killed Arkaro the Stitch, he kept coming back, this time with a massive iron helmet holding his head together.
Is that surprise I see on your face? Did you really think you killed me? Don't make me laugh. It may tear my stitches.
And it was at this point that I realised that me and the Stitch have more in common than I first thought. We're two immortal souls, trapped in an endless battle of death and respawning. And so if I'm going to build an army to take down Marku the Humiliator, perhaps we should actually work together.
I swear allegiance to you.
Now, I'll admit that the relationship between Talion and his followers isn't quite as well defined as Talion and his rivals. It is, after all, called the Nemesis system. So a recruited captain will effectively leave the map and may have very little interaction with Talion from that point onwards. It can be as much of an endpoint as the Orc's death. But there are some interesting possibilities. A recruit may decide to betray you and return to the enemy's side. You might install a spy in the enemy's ranks, only for him to be found out and executed. And a favoured follower might show up in a clutch moment to save you from certain death.
Death cannot take you today, just as it cannot take me.
Thanks, buddy. Whatever the case, these different relationships help flesh out stories, because they force the narrative to grow beyond simple one-on-one tales between Talion and a single orc. Instead, it creates a weaving matrix of different relationships and dependencies that can lead to more exciting stories. So hopefully you can now see why I make the link between Mordor and improv. In most video game stories, the narrative is entirely predetermined. Even those games with branching paths and multiple endings are all plotted out ahead of time, like a choose-your-own-adventure book. The player then navigates their way through this scripted story. But in Mordor, the story evolves unpredictably because it's entirely based on your interactions with these orcs. It's constructed at runtime, encounter by encounter, using your interactions as narrative brickwork. Systems like cheating death and humiliation allow the stories to be longer. The hierarchy allows the cast of characters to grow and change. And relationships between the different orcs creates a web of interlocking characters. But even though we've now got a pretty solid system that allows for stories to happen, how does Monolith make sure that those stories are actually any good? First, it's important that you can actually remember and distinguish between these different orcs. You'll encounter around 100 captains over the course of a game, and so it's vitally important that the player is able to keep track of their relationships with the key players. An orc might remember you, but you don't always remember them. To make this work, the orcs need to have really strong personalities. They need to be visually interesting and have unique traits, like the singer.
I sing this song with all my breath. Take heed, for this interlude ends with your death.
Or the poet.
Your fate just went from bad to worse. You face an orc who speaks in verse.
Or the obsessed.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen such a beautiful corpse. This is a corpse you could love and love and love.
Oh God.
These orcs reference their unique trait constantly to keep it memorable. So you might not remember his name, but you will remember that guy who keeps talking about branding. And to keep it consistent, the game defines the orc's identity first, and then makes everything else support that, such as the weapon it uses, the outfit it wears, the choices it makes in combat.
You get the point. Gets deep. Real deep. Collect ingredients. What did I put in there? Smoked fish. Might pick it up. Might pick it up again. Sometime soon. Sometime like tonight. Tomorrow. Right now. Whoa. Health boost, freezing resilience, processed food. Processed food? Let's turn into processed food. Beefing up the stats of that. What do we want to put in here? Processed food? They're all processed food. processed. That's what you call it, huh? It's already dried or something. Unmilled rice. Recovery boost, fatigue alleviation. Fatigue alleviation. I do like the sound of that. Fatigue alleviation. I don't have enough to fill up an entire bar, so I can't. Unmilled rice. Miso fish. Back nut. Dogwood catfish. Can I turn this catfish into anything? Earth resilience gets buffed if I dry the catfish. What about if I pickle it? I don't have any seasoning. The seasoning's in here. Oh, this is where all my other stuff is. Okay. Dried red meat. Salted fish. Cured vegetables. Dried millet. Health boost. Okay, crystal cap sweet fish. I got 14. Fatigue alleviation 4 for the catfish. We get 3 fatigue alleviation. Follow through. What is that? Make stamina recover when you unleash a critical hit. That is insane. Where did I get bonito fish? Oh my god. Dogwood catfish. No bonito fish here, huh? Fatigue alleviation. Earth resilience. Let's make some fatigue alleviation business. Provide. Critical hit mastered. Fatigue alleviation. Man, making this is hard. What am I allowed to put in? Fatigue alleviation. This just makes like a seasoning. Fatigue alleviation. Leeway. 10, 6%. 10, 6%. Cool. 3 minutes. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just about the top of the hour. Noon. That about wraps it up. Nemesis system. Will we see it in new games in the future? Maybe. Or it's forever buried behind the business suit. We'll see. But that's all the time I got. We'll be back later. Maybe. But until then, God bless, Godspeed, good games, good afternoon or night. And I'll see ya when I see ya. You take care now. Have a good day. Hey. All right. You be safe too.